Hey Raul, nice to be here again.
How you doing?
I'm doing real well. Man, I'll tell you, you've spoiled me rotten, Raul.
Thank you, thank you.
I love the cigars. You've watched me smoke them.
Yeah, you really enjoyed him.
I love them so much. What can I say? I'm just born to be fired, and I'll smoke them anywhere, anytime. And if they don't like it, I hope they learn to.
That's a good. That's a
There have
good
been a few women in my life that aren't women in my life because they thought I'd like them better than my cigar. Raul, it has been a pleasure to get to meet you, visit with you, and smoke some great cigars with you that have brought enjoyment, variety of your RTS cigars over the last few days. The extended family feeling you embrace with your customers is a thing of beauty. Your cigars are rich, flavorful, and tasty to me and the crew of Born to Be Fired, and we want to thank you. And just so the readers know, yes, we did buy cigars, so we put our money where our mouth is.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet.
From my experiences with each and every cigar you and your crew have rolled, I've found zero inconsistencies and am qualified to say so. May I say to you readers, this is a treat for me. Having been in many cigar shops and smoked many cigars over an extended period of time on a daily basis, I have found cigar nirvana. I am now officially spoiled to the core of my born to be fired self. There has not been any cigar aftertaste in the morning, not once, from your line of hand rolled, and I do not mean handmade, your hand rolled cigars. My penchant for the strongest of strong cigars has been heightened by your Maduro line of cigars. It's like the difference between shifting through the gears of the most well-tuned exotic car versus all other sports cars. Oh my. You male readers could share one of Raul's RTS Maduro cigars with a first-time female cigar smoker, and there would be no bite, and you wouldn't need training wheels. Of course, there are plenty of other cigars other than the Maduro cigars that I love so much. So, Raul, how did you get all your cigar expertise? How did it all get started?
Well, it all started when I was, when I was in Cuba, like 13 years ago, and this also goes on my family because my grandfather, for my mom part, they used to grow up tobacco, and also, I used to work in factories in Cuba for some years. But I guess I get more experience here when you start running your own shop, and then you start trying to make other people happy for what you do. So that I guess that's I guess my biggest experience when I start running my own shop in here in the United States.
What would you say are some of the differences between having a shop in the United States and rolling elsewhere?
Well, because in Cuban you don't really need to be worried about how they taste, how they draw. Because you're rolling for somebody. You're rolling for a factory, so they promote it, they sell it, and then just because it's a big company, and just because it's a big country on the cigar things, because it's a Cuban cigars, people like it no matter what. It's hard to find somebody that didn't like a Cuban cigar. So just because I run a small shop, you need to be more dedicated because on a small shop and small brands, people look for inconsistent, for more defect on the brand.
Just like with craft beer makers or
Yeah.
distillers.
Yeah, I see this. It's almost the same things. When you start doing something hand roll, like you said, because it's different between hand roll and handmade, that's when you really need to start putting a little bit more effort and a little bit more passion to what you do. Because obviously, when things start for a scratch, people can find more, defect on cigars, especially cigars. It's a pretty hard things because it's a lot of people with a lot of passion for cigars, so they can find a lot of things on a bad cigar.
Obviously, you understand the need for firing yourself sometime during the day, taking a cigar moment,
Yeah,
and then hiring yourself back quickly.
that's really a pleasure when you really have the time to enjoy the cigars, relax, and have a relationship with the smoking the cigars. This is pretty good. I mean,
Raul, you've seen me smoke cigars way, way down. What do you have to say about that?
it's almost like me. I mean, I'm really enjoying like you enjoy the cigars. I really want to smoke a cigar when I have the time to enjoy it, and then just this is a special moment. I mean, it's
A point of meditation?
well, I mean, you can use it different way. If you like to meditate it, that's I think is the best time when you really want to concentrate it and when you really want to relax. It's all matter on what type of things you like to do. Some people use it for meditation. Some people use it for relaxation. I mean, it's a whole world about smoking a cigar. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, I
I
agree.
mean, if you really want to enjoy it, I mean, just a smoke cigar for a smoke cigar is probably not a pleasure. But, when you really like cigars and you really enjoy the smoking cigars, it's one of the best things that I ever done. I mean, it's a really enjoyable thing.
Yep, I don't care if it's morning, late morning, noon, early afternoon, mid afternoon, late afternoon, early
Yes.
evening, or late evening.
When you
It,
have the time to enjoy it, you definitely need 20 to 30 minutes to have a peaceful time and relaxation. I mean, like I said, whatever you like to do, cigars is a good complement to get to that point.
Raul, I've got a whole bunch of questions I want to ask you, and I kind of thought I had an order in which I was going to ask, but you bring up some things that make me just want to throw my order right out the window. I guess that's part of the born to be fired lifestyle.
Yeah.
You mentioned 30 minutes. I will tell you that the cigars I've smoked of yours last longer than 30 minutes.
Well, it's depend on the size, but I mean the regular sizes. I mean like a robusto size or so. I mean it's a minimum 30 minutes. Just for not a big sizes cigar smoker. Some robusto, some smaller cigars take at least 30 minutes.
If someone has to tend to another part of their born to be fired life and let the cigar go out, what is the proper way to extinguish a cigar in order to take care of life's business and then to light it up later for full enjoyment?
Just let him lit off.
Just
Just
let
let
them
him
go
rest
out,
in
huh?
peace.
Yes?
Let him goes off, and then it's actually better because I mean goes by themselves. So then you don't have any bad taste when you lit it up back again. Let him set, let him goes off, and then whatever you want to light it up again, just clean the ash, and then just make the same. Just go around it. I mean, make sure that everything is red, and just
Smoke
start puffing.
away, eh?
Yeah.
I've watched people take their cigar and grind it into the ashtray to come back to it later. I see heartbreak on your face, Raul.
Yeah, because I mean it's not like I mean the way you should do it. Just let him goes off, and then you don't break him down, or you make sure the cigars fight it out back again. They're gonna be same way. You just let him goes off, and then it's I think it's the better way.
Yeah, because you don't want to break that cigar up.
Just I mean it's just like if you really feel passion for smoke, why just break him down? Just let him set, let him goes off, and then just light it back.
A lot of people that smoke cigarettes out there, they're used to smashing.
Yeah, and it's different.
And cigarettes really don't put themselves out. Well, with the new paper, I guess it does, but it's not the same. What would you say over the years you've noticed? What's the difference between smoking a cigarette and smoking a cigar?
Well, it's a lot of different things. I mean, first of all, cigars is all natural. It's a natural leaf. It's a natural everything. So you don't have any chemical, just water. Cigars is made out of everything, just to moisturizer, whatever. You just use water. Even when you grow up the plant, you just use water or some organic things that help them out to grow up. But I mean, it's not chemical involved in the cigars. business, as far as I know.
What about glue in cigars?
It's made out of the root of the plant that didn't have any taste, any flavor. It's just special for cigars. Actually, it's natural because you mix them up with water, so you don't need anything to mix them up. It's a powder, but it's made it out of a root of some plant, and then it's all natural. It's no chemical, so that's why it's cigars is very natural things.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Yes. So, what do you feel is essential in your line of work to selecting the right tobaccos to roll up?
Well, that's the hard part, I guess. I mean, you need to go over different suppliers. You actually need to smoke and try different tobacco types in order to blend them out and then get the right flavor that you want. You have to take a lot of things in consideration, like you mentioned, aftertaste, different things. I mean, so it's a mix of different point in order to get a good cigars. Good burning. I mean, they should be burning good, have a good smoke. It's a couple things. I mean, it's you get it by the tobacco from different part. You're learning every day, so take a little bit of time to get all that knowledge.
So, just like I've tried to share with the Born to Be Fired readers, life changes, plants change, everything changes.
Every time you buy tobacco, it's a different things. Even if you buy it for the same people, it's a plant. It's a different things. I mean, they couldn't taste different. So you need to try them and you need to taste them every time in order for you to make sure that you have a consistent in your blend.
So, the plant is part of the universe. So, when you smoke a cigar, you're embracing the universe.
Yeah, right.
Oh my. Or if this isn't making people want to light up a cigar right now, I don't know what is. And I can say there is a difference in your cigars, Raul, than any cigars I've ever smoked. And I have never stayed with one line of cigar, but I've smoked so many different lines of cigars. As I mentioned, I truly love yours. Whether it's a female or a male smoking a cigar for the first time, what suggestions do you have for them when choosing a cigar?
I think for the first time smoker, it's better off if you go with a mild flavor because I mean, when you're not used to it, can get you, kind of dizzy or bad feeling. I mean, like you feel like drunk or whatever. But I think
Careful, that might make people just jump on up there to the
no,
ones
man,
I
it's,
smoke
it's,
now.
it's just, I think it's better off to start with mild cigar, get used to it, and eventually your taste is gonna tell you when you're gonna need to jump over the next flavor. Because I mean, after a while, mild cigars feel like smoking nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not that it's not a good cigar, but when you really smoke more and more, you start feeling that your palate need a little bit more flavor. So that's why it's a difference between mild, medium, and full body. But some people just stick with the mild and they don't want to change it because they really enjoy it.
That's right. Viva la difference.
It's all about taste. But some people,
Well, I remember when I traded in my tricycle for my first bicycle. And then I remember my first 3-speed bicycle. Then I remember my first 5-speed bicycle. And then my 10-speed bicycle.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
So it's pretty interesting things. I mean, when you really get into the cigar world, it's hard to. It's good. It's a good experience.
So tell us about all the different cigars that you have.
Actually, the wrapper is the one who bring most of the flavor on cigars. That's why sometimes when people looking for Romeo and Juliet flavor or Monte Cristo flavor, it's kind of wrong things. I mean, you actually look for all these is brands. I mean, cigars goes by flavor. Mild, medium, and full body. It's all depend on the type of wrapper you put it on. That what is get the flavor to the cigars. It's all about what you use inside, but I mean, most of the flavor came out of the wrapper. So that's why just having the same inside, just changing the wrapper, you got a totally different flavor cigars.
So there are a lot of different names back there in your humidor for these cigars.
Well, it's just things that I make up just to make a difference between all the things. I mean, torpedoes, exquisitos. It's just name it. Like like other brands use Romeo and Juliet, Monte Cristo. I use my brand, but also put like a nickname on it. I mean, RTS torpedo. RTS is the main brand, and just some name it for the shape. Some others just for like different way to recognize it.
Like, for instance, you know that one crew member that likes that one particular cigar of yours. It's kind of, it's more skinny.
Yeah, so because some people, it's also good recommendation for beginners. I mean, they should start it with a thinner cigar, so that's the way, they don't have to go through a lot of smoke. They probably don't like it. They probably don't enjoy them. So it's better off to start with a skinny, smaller.
So there's less smoke in the air.
Oh, not less smoke. It's just it's just because the ring gauge is thinner, so you're obviously gonna get less smoke out of it. So bigger ring gauge is gonna get more smoke because it's bigger area, and it's more oxygen on the biggest ring gauge because it's more lead. So make the cigar small.
Right, like the 60 ring gaugers I like.
Yeah, it's a big ring gauge, so you got a lot of leaf, a lot of things, and a lot of oxygen inside the tobacco. So that's why you get a lot of smoke out of it.
Hmm. Bring it on, Raul.
Yeah,
Bring it
so
on.
that's when you feel the full smoke in your mouth when you got a big cigars.
How do people find a cigar which makes them find that special relationship after they've tried all these? How do they find the one that gives them that oh so sweet pleasure in life? The righteous cigar.
It's just that people taste. Some people don't like bitter, so that's why they enjoy more mild. Some people like feel the bitter on their smoke, so that's why some people like a full body flavor. So it's all about taste.
And by the way, should we, and when we get the radio station up for Born to Be Fired, if it's all right with you, we might want to air this interview on the radio station.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Because face it, if those people out there don't like yours and my voice, what are they going to like, right?
Nah,
They're all
you got a
born to
good
be
voice
fired.
for
They gotta
being on the
roll
radio.
with it. So, what advice do you have regarding lighting a cigar?
Well, I guess the proper way to light it up is like I explained to you later. I mean, just heat them up and then make sure that it's all red, and then after that you just I don't know how to say that.
You blow on it?
Blow it, and then once it's all red, then make sure that the cigars is enough hot. So then
Pop the cap
that
and
way
get
it's
some-
better because I mean all the cigars is tending to burn more even that way.
Yes, so that way you don't have any channeling.
Yep.
Yep. How about cutting a cigar when you go to bust that cap, as I call it? What's the best way to bust the cap?
All depend on the type of quarter that people like. I mean, some people like a straight quarter, some people like B quarter, some people like punch. I mean, I guess it's all about like the flavor of cigars. It just depends on what people like more. Some people don't like to bust the cap like you said, so they use B quarter or they use punch. Some people like to have a lot of smoke out of a cigar, so they just have a straight quarter.
Yep,
people
they know
like-
I'm chronic when they see me use that straight cutter on that 60 ring gauge. Huh?
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
because like you said, some people like to have a lot of smoke, and some people just like to keep the look of the cigar, so that's why they just use a big cutter or punch.
Now, when it comes to smoking the cigar itself, yes, the act of smoking the cigar, what would you suggest to people?
Like I mentioned before, just have a time to enjoy like 30, 45 minutes, depending on the ring gauge, and relax and enjoy the cigar.
It's chill time.
Well, normally you don't inhale it. Some people do it, but I mean, you normally feel all the flavors in your mouth without have to inhale it. I guess that's one of the biggest difference between cigar and cigarette, because on a cigarette you don't really get any like a flavor like cigar has it, but I mean it's all the flavor goes in your mouth, so you don't really need to inhale it in order to
You
get
puff.
the flavor. Yeah, you just smoke and then you feel all the flavor in your mouth.
Right. And if you're sitting there with your lady or your man sharing a cigar, as Snoop Dogg says, puff, puff, pass. As President Clinton says, don't inhale.
Well, I mean, it's normally,
That's why he got a cigar.
yeah, you normally don't inhale it because you don't get any other flavor out of the cigar just because you inhale it. So you don't really need to do it because all the flavor is in the smoke. So it doesn't make any sense to inhale it.
I'm with you.
So you don't really need to inhale the smoke in order to get more flavor or something like that.
Not to mention some people get sick if you inhale too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's also too because it's the strongest. It's actually the
It's
strongest.
pure tobacco.
It's pure tobacco. It's the concentration of nicotine on tobacco. I guess is more than on a cigarette.
A
Not
cigarette-
even mention that the ring gauge on tobacco is bigger. So I guess if you can have a cigarette as big as the cigar, you couldn't inhale it either because you're gonna get really sick.
Well, the thing is with cigarettes, they have very little tobacco in it because you have a lot of chemicals that they put into it. And that's why you have to inhale deeper. They also have the filter and they got flavors so you can taste it, otherwise you wouldn't taste anything. You have 499 chemical, plus you got radiation that they put into it so it burns evenly. That's why comparing cigarettes to cigars, it's like comparing water to Coca-Cola. Just because it's water in Coca-Cola doesn't mean it's water.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
So, Raul, a lot of people want to know some things. Like, for instance, we talked about your background being from Cuba,
Yep.
and you're working in the cigar factories in Cuba. They all come with this question. They go, hey, Zeke, is a Cuban cigar the best? What do you have to say?
Well, I mean, I guess it's like anything else. I mean, I guess it's like whiskey. Some people feel like several whiskey from countries are better than other one. I guess all goes on the soil, on the weather. I mean, you definitely feel a difference between Cuban cigars and other, but I mean, it's nothing you can blame it on somebody just because they don't make Cuban cigars. They don't do a good cigars. It's like anything else. Cuban cigars are good because that country was made for, I guess, for that. I mean, they got a good soil, good weather. It's just special for that.
So, when God thought about, hey, let's do some cigars, I think this island called Cuba would be a good place to,
Yeah.
roll out.
Ironically,
Cu-
cigars started in Chile.
Yeah.
Tobacco started in Chile.
Well, I mean,
Cuban seed, for instance. A lot of Cuban seeds sold to be grown other places. Nicaragua.
oh yeah, and they don't even taste the same. That's a good point.
Oh.
Even people get seed out of a Cuban and they put it in different country. You can get a close flavor to Cuban, but I mean, it's not gonna be the same because I mean, it's in a special kind. Not even in Cuban you can get a good tobacco in all the island. It's several places in Cuban that got the good soil, the good weather to grow up a good tobacco.
And by the way, if we do use this as a radio broadcast later, anybody that would be listening, understand when you hear other voices in the background.
It's part of the crew.
We are at Raul's cigar shop, and hey, it's a lively place, and cigar smokers enjoy putting
Now-
their 2 cents worth in, because hey, they
Yes.
love cigars.
It's part of the family. Like
That's
now,
right.
RTS is joined to the Born to Be Fire family.
That's correct.
Yeah, pretty much. Everyone comes in here, it's like family. We all sit down
Yeah.
and talk. Even strangers that you've never met that sat down with a cigar and just start talking. In regards
Okay.
to the talk in regards to the cigars, the flavor comes down to basically personal choice, whoever likes it the most, as far as Cuban or not. Cuban the Cuban cigar, because of the soil, because of the environment, does provide a good rich flavor. But it also goes down to the fact of the tradition, the way that the cigar is actually hand rolled, the way the mix and the blends are put together. That actually makes the whole point of it. When you have a good cigar roller, people that actually know what they're doing, they can roll the cigar in a certain way that you'll get the full benefit of the flavor. Where you could get the same actual tobacco and have two different rollers. One has the experience, one doesn't. You're going to have two different flavors. You're going to get a sweet, savory cigar from one roller, and the other one's going to be bitter because they don't know how to roll it. It's because of the airflow, the way the actual all combines together. It's like a work of art.
Sometimes you got to take care of business, and Raul's real busy. And I'm glad because that'll keep him rolling and keep his store open. Everybody I've met that comes into this store, even if it's their first time, is treated like family. And then to meet your extended family is a beautiful thing too, Raul.
Yeah.
There's something that people are going to want to know. How does somebody know if the cigar they are buying is a quality cigar, whether it's one of your masterfully rolled cigars or another cigar at any other cigar shop? How do you know a good cigar?
One of the things that make us different is because everything here is handmade, fresh.
Hand rolled fresh.
Yes, hand rolled fresh. So I guess that's one of the main difference. And then I think people can tell the difference because they keep coming back.
So if they aren't blessed with being real close to your store, and let's say they're up there in Maine or New Jersey or California or Montana or Minnesota, and they go to their cigar shop that's close to them, how do they know how to pick a cigar out?
Well, if they enjoyed hand-rolled fresh cigars, they definitely need to call RTS. Otherwise, trying to look for probably house brand or something that they're probably gonna get you a similar quality or freshness on the hand-rolled cigars. I mean, it's hard to say that because you don't know other people stores. In that case, probably they should ask for hand-rolled house brand or something have to do with the hand-rolled cigars.
Right, but no matter what, it also comes down to trying them,
Oh yeah.
smoke them.
Or just give them a call to RTS and they can get the fresh and all the quality from hand-rolled cigars.
All the love from Raul.
Yes,
That's
true.
it. So,
And then we also ship them to them if they want them.
yep, I'm with you. Get that postage ready, Raul.
All right.
So, what would you like to share with Born to be Fired readers that you haven't shared so far? Anything I haven't asked?
Well, it's pretty good experience. I guess, that some people interested in what you do and, let them know other people what you do is a beautiful thing.
Which came first, Raul? Now, somebody asked me, and they could find this in the Ask Zeke tab. Someone asked me one time which came first, the chicken or the egg. So, Raul, which came first, the seed or the plant?
Who knows? It's hard to say.
Smoke them if you got them.
Yes. If you can get them, it's marketing that you're really going to enjoy. All the way through.
All the way through.
It's just the beginning. It's just the start.
That's right. Well, hey, Raul, thank you very much for your time and
Thank you very much.
insight.
It's a pleasure to me.
And we'll just keep on smoking
Oh, yeah.
and
Keep
keep
enjoying
on
them.
firing ourselves and hiring ourselves back.
Keep on sharing with Born to be Fired people.
That's right.
That's all about.
That's it. Spread the joy and the
Oh,
love.
yeah.
Thank you, Raul.
Thank you.